Think about the shirt you're wearing right now. There's a very good chance it's made, at least in part, from polyester. Millions of Americans are wearing the same fabric at this exact moment. We sleep in it, exercise in it, travel with it, and wear it almost every day without giving it a second thought. For decades, neither did scientists. Then something unexpected happened. Researchers studying pollution in rivers and oceans kept finding tiny plastic fibers. They were everywhere. At first, the focus was on the environment. But eventually, someone asked a much bigger question. If these microscopic fibers are escaping from our clothes, could they also be reaching us? That single question has sparked one of the fastest growing areas of environmental health research. The answers are surprising. Sometimes reassuring. Sometimes unsettling. But above all, they're far more nuanced than the alarming headlines you may have seen online. This isn't a story about fear. It's a story about what science is only beginning to discover. Polyester has quietly become the most widely used textile fiber in the world. More than half of all clothing fibers produced today are made from it. From athletic shirts and winter jackets to bed sheets, blankets, and everyday clothing, polyester is almost impossible to avoid. Its popularity makes perfect sense. It's durable, affordable, lightweight, easy to wash, quick to dry. For consumers, it's convenient. For manufacturers, it's efficient. For decades, that seemed to be the end of the story. But every material changes over time. Every time you move, your clothes rub against your skin, your chair, your car seat, or even against themselves. Every wash cycle creates more friction. Every trip through the dryer adds a little more wear. These tiny changes happen so gradually that we never notice them. Scientists do. Using powerful microscopes, researchers discovered that synthetic fabrics release microscopic plastic fibers throughout their lifetime. Some are washed into wastewater systems. Others become suspended in indoor air, too small for the human eye to see. That discovery led to another question. Where do these particles actually go? For years, scientists believed most of them simply remained in the environment. Then came a series of discoveries that changed everything. Microplastics were detected in drinking water. Then in seafood. Then in table salt. Later, researchers found them in human blood. Soon afterward, they appeared in the placenta, showing that even unborn babies could be exposed to tiny plastic particles before birth. And then came the finding that captured headlines around the world. Researchers detected microplastics and nanoplastics in human brain tissue. For many people, that sounded alarming. But this is exactly where careful science becomes important. Finding something inside the body does not automatically mean it's causing harm. Scientists know these particles are there. They do not yet know exactly what they're doing. That distinction matters. History is full of examples where early discoveries seemed frightening at first, only to become better understood over time. It's also full of discoveries that eventually changed public health forever. Right now, microplastics remain one of the biggest unanswered questions in environmental medicine. And clothing is only one possible source. Food packaging, car tires, household dust, bottled water, cosmetics, even the air we breathe. Modern life surrounds us with plastic in ways that previous generations never experienced. So why has polyester attracted so much attention? Because unlike many other sources, it's in direct contact with our bodies for hours every single day. But researchers aren't simply asking whether polyester sheds fibers. They're asking something much more important. How much are we actually exposed to? And does that exposure matter? To answer those questions, scientists have started looking somewhere most of us rarely think about. Inside our own homes. Most people associate air pollution with busy highways or factory smoke. But environmental researchers are becoming increasingly interested in indoor air. Bedrooms, closets, Laundry rooms. Living rooms. Places where synthetic fabrics are constantly moving. Studies have shown that indoor environments can contain microscopic textile fibers released from clothing, carpets, blankets, upholstery, and other synthetic materials. Activities as simple as folding laundry, making the bed, or running a clothes dryer can temporarily increase the number of airborne fibers inside a room. You don't see them. You don't smell them. You don't feel them. Yet sophisticated instruments can detect them with remarkable precision. Does that mean every home has become dangerous? No. Current evidence simply doesn't support that conclusion. Instead, researchers are asking a more reasonable question. What happens when small exposures occur not once, but every day? For decades. Many chronic diseases don't develop overnight. They're influenced by countless small factors that accumulate over a lifetime. Diet. Sleep. Exercise. Air quality. Stress. Scientists are now investigating whether long-term exposure to microplastics may eventually belong somewhere on that list. But even before researchers began studying microplastics, doctors had already noticed another way polyester could affect certain people. Not through the lungs. Not through the bloodstream. But through the body's largest organ. The skin. Perfito. Mentendo examinament o mesmo ritmo. Part 2. Your skin is remarkably good at protecting you. It's designed to keep most outside substances from entering the body. So despite what many social media posts claim, there is no strong scientific evidence that simply wearing polyester allows plastic particles to pass through healthy skin and into your bloodstream. But that doesn't mean everyone experiences polyester the same way. Dermatologists have known for years that synthetic fabrics can make certain skin conditions worse. Polyester tends to trap more heat and moisture than many natural fibers. For people with eczema, sensitive skin, or chronic dermatitis, that extra warmth and friction can increase itching, irritation, and discomfort. That's one of the clearest health effects researchers have documented. Not poisoning. Not toxicity. Skin irritation in susceptible individuals. It's an important reminder that good science often separates what sounds dramatic from what is actually supported by evidence. Still, fibers aren't the only thing researchers are studying. Attention has also turned to the chemicals used during the manufacturing process. Depending on how a garment is made, polyester fabrics may contain dyes, stain-resistant coatings, water-repellent finishes, flame retardants, or trace amounts of catalysts used during production. That doesn't mean every polyester shirt contains harmful levels of these substances. Far from it. Manufacturing standards vary widely, and many countries regulate how much of these chemicals can remain in finished clothing. Even so, scientists continue asking an important question. What happens after decades of repeated exposure, not from one shirt, but from thousands of everyday products combined? Because clothing isn't our only source. The same types of chemicals can also be found in furniture, carpets, food packaging, household dust, and many other items we interact with every day. Researchers call this cumulative exposure. Instead of studying one product in isolation, they're trying to understand how countless small exposures may add up over an entire lifetime. And that's where the science becomes both fascinating and challenging. The truth is, researchers still don't have all the answers. They don't yet know how much of the microplastic found inside the human body comes specifically from clothing. They don't know what level of exposure, if any, becomes harmful. And they don't know whether these particles directly contribute to diseases, or simply exist in our bodies without causing measurable damage. Those are very different possibilities. That's why you'll often hear responsible scientists use careful language. They talk about associations, not proof. About possible risks, not certainty. About ongoing research, not final conclusions. That caution isn't a weakness. It's exactly what makes science trustworthy. In the meantime, what should people do? Most experts recommend balance. There's no evidence that you should throw away every polyester garment you own. There's no evidence that wearing synthetic clothing occasionally is dangerous. But there are practical ways to reduce unnecessary exposure without turning everyday life into a source of anxiety. Choosing well-made clothing that sheds less. Mixing natural and synthetic fabrics instead of relying entirely on one material. Keeping your home well ventilated. Following proper laundry practices. Making informed choices instead of fearful ones. None of these steps guarantee better health. But they reflect a simple principle that has guided public health for decades. When evidence is still emerging, reducing unnecessary exposure, when practical and reasonable, can be a sensible approach. Perhaps the most important lesson isn't really about polyester at all. It's about how science works. History shows that major discoveries rarely begin with certainty. They begin with curiosity. Researchers notice something unexpected. They ask better questions. They collect more evidence. Sometimes those questions change medicine forever. Other times, they reveal there was much less to worry about than anyone imagined. Right now, polyester sits somewhere in the middle of that journey. Scientists have discovered that synthetic clothing releases microscopic fibers. They've found microplastics throughout the environment, and even inside the human body. What they haven't yet determined is exactly what those findings mean for our long-term health. And until they do, the most honest answer is also the simplest. We don't know yet. Tomorrow morning, you'll probably get dressed just as you always have. You'll pull on your favorite shirt. Zip up your jacket. Or wrap yourself in a familiar blanket. Maybe it's polyester. Maybe it isn't. But you'll probably look at it a little differently. Not because there's a reason to panic. But because something so ordinary has become the subject of extraordinary scientific investigation. The clothes we wear every day may turn out to be exactly as safe as we've always believed. Or they may teach us something entirely new about the modern world we've created. Either way, science is doing what it has always done best. Asking careful questions. Following the evidence. And reminding us that some of the biggest discoveries begin with the most ordinary things.